Yes. Welcome or come well to another doorway, another portal, another show entitled Amias as I am, as you are. Do you see the doors? Do you see the doors? When I ask you, do you see the doors? In other words, I'm asking you, do you see your ways out of this present reality? Do you see them? Are you recognizing these entrances and exits throughout and out of this present dimension that we all currently exist within, or the state or this plane of existence that we all exist within? Do you see or recognize another intelligence trying to communicate to you? Where did it come from? Why is it giving you a way out or a way through? Why is it even speaking to you? And what exactly is communicating with you? If you are an individual who is experiencing these specific moments in your life and are in question of things related to it, these questions, at the very least, deserve some kind of clarity. Some kind of clarity. Not an answer, but at least clarity. More and more doors are appearing in our present dimension, whether you see them or not. In a way of understanding, we all, in some way, are subliminally experiencing spontaneous pockets of what I call cosmic grace, of what I call cosmic compassion, i.e., solar shortcuts to grandma's house. Before I go into today's topic, I want you to understand more and more doors are appearing. When a present dimension, like this present dimension that we are currently in at the moment, when a present dimension begins to break down or go through its cycle of transformation and transcension, orchestrating its nature and purpose throughout our environment and our atmosphere, an escape hatch begins to appear. Human behaviors such as excessive drug taking, heavy liquor drinking, killings, murders, consistent astral body experiences, astral body projecting, suicides, huge meditation gatherings, gurus and yogis popping up everywhere, intense states of consciousness and enlightenment, etc., etc. These are all signs that the cosmic crossover has already begun. It already begun. And it's been here. And it's been very intense at least since the 1970s, 1980s. So this ain't nothing new I'm touching upon, but it's becoming more and more obvious to people who can see and feel the unseen and the unknown, such as myself. So I'm just bringing it to your attention in a certain way at this moment. So let's all walk down this hallway into another doorway entitled, Am I as I am, as you are. First doorway. How can one identify these doors? How can someone identify these doors? In regards of our solar system, there are 2 doors per every sun and moon cycle. Keep this in mind. One between sunrise and sunset, and the other between moonrise and moonset. As Americans, we were trained and raised to miss these doorways. How so? By always doing something when these door openings are present or presenting themselves or present. We miss the first doorway by school activity or work activity. And then we miss the second doorway by sleeping before it reveals itself. Now, to understand these doorways, which are called Kadrij in our ancient tongue, our ancient manner, our ancient sound, our ancient reverberation, our ancient pronunciation, it was called Kadrij Between sunrise and sunset, it's the very middle between sunrise and sunset. So let's say, for example, sunrise is at 4 a.m. today. And then sunset is at what? 4 p.m. So we're trying to find the middle between 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. Is that 12 hours? Let me see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's say the 6th hour. Let's say the Kadrij or the doorway is around 10 a.m. We miss that door. Because in order to see a door or to see a door reveal itself, you have to be present, conscious, and aware and sensitive, energy sensitive in that moment at 10 a.m. on the dot. Doorways open up in the middle of things, in the very middle, the very median of something. This is how a doorway or doorways appear. So they appear right in between sunrise and sunset, as well as moonrise and moonset, which is where we're sleeping already. We're sleeping between moonrise and moonset. And we're doing school activity or work activity or running around doing some kind of whatever, errands between sunrise and sunset. So we're not standing still, we're not silent, we're not aware, we're not conscious, and we're not energy sensitive when the Kadrij presents itself. So therefore, we may miss these doorways of cosmic opportunity. And it is our divine inheritance to receive them. But first to recognize them and be receptive to them. Keep this in mind. Our sleep cycle has changed because of our new bodies and this new circadian rhythm in our biology, in our body systems. The circadian rhythm is the wake time, the sleep time. It's changed with these new bodies. In our ancient body, in our ancient frame, in our ancient physical condition, it was a different circadian rhythm and meridian system. AM and PM. AM means anti-meridian, PM means per meridian, if I'm correct. But these meridian points have reorganized themselves in these new biological embodiments that we have mutated and transformed into in today's modern day human being. Our sleep cycle has changed because our circadian rhythm has been manipulated to transform otherwise in our ancient elders or our ancient elder bodies. In ancient times, we were always up, still, silent, and present during both doorways, and willingly, gracefully entered the doorways or these doors with intentions or with an intention, a specific intention or specific intentions prior to the opening of these doors. By how? By preparing ourselves consciously before a graceful drift into the subconscious and unconscious spaces of creation. Our sleep time or circadian rhythm was completely different in ancestral times. Our circadian rhythm started changing about 400 to 500,000 years ago, as our ancient anatomy began to transmorph into modern anatomy. Our sleep and wake times were totally opposite. We were up and aware and conscious between sunrise and sunset, moonrise and moonset. Something to keep in mind. Next doorway. It's not too many doorways today. Just a few. Hang on. Second doorway. Was there this understanding of doors in ancient times? And if so, what were these doors called? Which is what I told you. The doors were called the Ka-Jrj-Ah. They were depicted through the stonework and stonecraft of carved doors within our walls and ceilings of our inner temples, and we stood in stillness and silence in front of these Ka-Jrj-Ahs. These Ka-Jrj-Ahs are carved with, these are basically sacred geometries and sacred symbologies, known as reliefs and carved inside of basalt, stone, granite. These temples, these were symbols, sacred geometries, as you see behind me. This is a part of the sacred geometry that was carved and relieved inside of stone. We stared at it, we went into a different state. Just that simple. These sacred geometries are known as synthesization, something that is constantly reaching the core and the middle of something, constantly going in. So any sacred geometry symbols that you see are like a synthesis in the state of pause. So if you pause something synthesizing to the middle and it pauses, that's what you call sacred geometrical symbols. So these are pausing symbols of sacred geometry. So these things were carved in the ceilings and walls, as well as the floors of our temples, and we stood in stillness and silence in front of these Ka-Jrj-Ahs with an intention. And the intention is based upon the communication and connection that we had with divine source, with the unseen and the unknown, and the unshown. Right in between the risings and settings of both celestial spheres in the universe, and walked through the walls, walked through them, walked through the walls, walked through the ceilings, and walked through the floors. In our spiritual bodies, our phosphorus bodies, while simultaneously leaving our physical bodies behind on the other side of the wall. This is how we walked through walls. We weren't literally walking through physical walls. We were entering access points psycho-spiritually, from attainment of hidden knowledge under hidden mysticism, to always acknowledge and interact with every middle or median point of existence occurs and presents itself. For what reason? In order to reach a more inner depth of our being, to make contact with the Saul, where you get the word soul, to make contact with our Saul or soul, for the purpose of receiving divine downloads that guide our spiritual missions as spiritual missionaries. We knew this shit. May sound weird, then you're a damn weirdo. Or this just ain't meant for you right now. But those who know exactly where I'm coming from and understand exactly what I'm saying without judgment. In another angle of understanding, a doorway also represents a heart. Why? Because it appears out of compassion. Compassion to provide you a way out or way across. Or way across. For what reason? To teleport psycho-spiritually through its divine opportunity. And you can only teleport or transport through it by also being of your heart as well, which is to be of your knowing, not your guessing. The word heart, keep this in mind, the word heart comes from the word het, which is from the goddess Hathor or Het Heru, known as Hathor, which represents what? Love. So the only access card through these doors of love is with love, in love, as love. You can only enter Hathor or Het Heru with the Het or the heart. Something extra. Het is also the word heat, where the word heat comes from. Heat is an offshoot of fire. Fire is of the soul. Put it together. So another way entering the doorway can also be seen as to enter as the soul into the solar intelligence. Put it together. All these middle points. What's the big deal about something in the middle? Everything of the middle has the greatest significance of existence. How so? The pineal gland is in the middle. That's of great significance and great importance. It's in the middle. The brain is in the middle. The head is in the middle. The mouth is in the middle. The nose is in the middle. Breathe, drink, water, oxygen. The neck is in the middle, where heat goes from the head to the body transfers the heat to the head. The neck is in the middle. The heart is in the middle. The chakra system is in the middle. The intestines are in the middle, which is the second brain. The belly button is in the middle, which is where you detach from your mother. The sexual organs is in the middle, which brings about the next God. A child comes out from the middle of the woman. Beingness, what we call beingness, presence, love, grace, acceptance, connection, bliss, meditation. Meditation is meditation, in the middle. As well as sleep, entering a doorway. The wake state, exiting a doorway. The middle. As well as something called the cusp, which is what you reach in your DNA. And that's in a book called the Isis Thesis. Very powerful, extremely powerful. Insane. There'll never be another book like that again. And the cusp is something that you reach biochemically with the viruses and bacteria in your body. A virus is nothing bad. You were born with something called the virus of Osiris. We all have the virus of Osiris. So once you understand or get to understand that book, then you come back to this video, you understand what the hell I'm talking about and why we all need to reach the cusp. The cusp can also be seen as the vesica piscis, the vesica Pisces, whatever you want to pronounce it as, known as the vagina, the womb, to come out of another hole, another doorway. The cusp is in the middle. And the cusp is spiritual alternation and solar algorithm. Being between thought and action. You're a bridge. You're in the middle. You're a middle phenomenon. Period. Point blank, period. Between idea and invention. You have an idea, you create the invention for the idea. You're something in the middle. You're the bridge. Everything of the middle is of great significance. This is the significance and importance and relevance of the middle or the median points. These are all middle places and middle spaces. Everything I just described to you. Let's go into the next doorway. Doorways will always appear within dimensions, paradigms, and realms. I teach this in my class, and I speak briefly upon it during consultations, depending upon where the conversation is going spiritually. Doorways will always appear within dimensions, paradigms, and realms. This is a specific class I teach, and my students can tell you, or my attainees can tell you, how ridiculous and how deep that damn class goes, or that section of the class goes. Within every dimension are numerous paradigms. As we say dimensions, paradigms, realms, we don't even know the difference between these words. What is what and what is what? We just say it thinking that it's all one meaning. It's not. Within every dimension are numerous paradigms, and paradigms always point you and guide you into realms through your consciousness, directly through your consciousness and your awareness. Realms are doorways or invisible portals that begin to reveal themselves through things like synchronicities, as well as abstract occurrences such as deja vus, aha moments, daydreaming, staring off into the distance, and surreal moments of realization. The more a present dimension begins to break down and or disappear like this dimension, the more doors begin to appear, like I mentioned prior to. For what reason? For utilization and access, for transcension from one present dimension into another dimension. This reality called life, this is not life, but this reality that we all call life, always provides a way out and possible opportunities to utilize if recognized. This is the very reason why a phenomenon called death even exists. Death is the eternal exit door. Know your shit. This is a dimension. Dimension is based upon height, length, width, and depth. This is a place based upon height, length, width, and depth. Inside of a dimension, we have something called paradigms that exist inside of a dimension. A paradigm is something that is leading you to something. That thing, like patterns. You see somebody with a red hat at the gas station. You drive off, go into Walmart. You see somebody with a red shirt. You leave Walmart, drive back home. You see somebody wearing red sneakers. That's something telling you something. It's trying to communicate to you. It's trying to reach you. It's trying to contact you. Something is happening. It can be a color. It can be a stone. It can be an animal. It can be a shape. It can be whatever. But you see this constant pattern, and it's not random. It's intentional, cosmically intentional. That is source speaking directly to you by speaking directly through you. That is called a paradigm. Now, if you follow this pattern of this paradigm, this leads you into a door. Now, whether you see that door or not, or have knowledge of a door, or recognize it, or realize the experience that you are experiencing in that moment and know where to look for that door, is all depending upon your gnosis and your knowledge of self. That has nothing to do with me or anyone else. The next doorway Can you create a doorway? Can I create a doorway? Can you create a doorway? Can a doorway be created? Yes, with your mind. First, with your mind. With principles such as need, want, and desire. These are all magnetic qualities that produce openings and transfers within our present dimension. Another alternative or added alternative are my products on my website, asyouare.com. ASYUAR.com. These are added alternatives, product alternatives. I have a product called Crystal Clear. This is called Crystal Clear. This is one of my products. And these Crystal Clear, something called Spirays, which is the spray that I have, as well as something called Power Pouch. These clear atmospheric energies reveal quantum fields in your home as well as outside of your home, your car, your job, wherever you choose to use these mixtures and elixirs at. The mixture or ingredients specifically within the specific product, this specific product called Crystal Clear, are composed of what is known as mineral and hexahydrates, which exist, these minerals and these synthesizing qualities and principles within this product per se, as well as 2 or 3 other products on the website, something called Spirays and something called Power Pouches, as well as Crystal Clear. These things are sacred geometrical intelligence, which exist in the 5th and 6th dimensional or dimension of being. Very powerful product that produces immediate results. Any crystalline, any crystal with a certain kind of intention and a spiritual preparation behind it automatically contains something that you can access internally if you know how to utilize it. On my consultations, I tell you and personally advise you and guide you how to utilize these products because they're not regular products. These are not regular products. These are doorways. These are doors, actual doors and dimensions that you access mentally, psycho-spiritually. Plain and simple. What is known as hexahydrate, a hexagon is a sacred geometrical dimension, a sacred synthesization as well as a mind state, which exists, like I said before, in the 5th and 6th dimension. This is what we call 3rd dimension, the physical realm. When you begin to access, you got to understand this. We function as 3rd dimensional. We function through 3rd dimension as 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional beings. We don't exist in 3rd dimension. We move 3rd dimension. We animate 3rd dimension. The body doesn't move itself. You move the body. You are not here. You are not in the body. You are acting as the body, but you are not of the body or the bodily or the bodily physical condition around it. You are not this. You're functioning somewhere else. And these products put you in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. Depending upon your gnosis, it may take you to the 7th. You see a whole bunch of doors popping up anywhere and everywhere, like I see all the time. And I walk into these doors. Every doorway represents a certain filtering process, a certain synthesizing process, a certain process of elimination. What kind of elimination? What do you mean elimination? The elimination of yourself, the personal one, to become the self, the impersonal one, the self that is void of fear, doubt, shame, and judgment. You cannot walk into it with fear, shame, doubt, and judgment. That door will slam in your face. That's just how it goes. To walk through it, you have to first become the least common denomination of self upon entrance. The doorway is first made or recognized, first and foremost, is first made and recognized in your mind, then secondarily in your view. Need, want, desire. In whatever fashion, whatever form you want to need something, want to know something, desire something, doors pop up. That's the language of the doors, of the Kadrij Ah. That's the Kadrij Ah language. The doorway is first made or recognized because they'll pop up. It's first made or recognized in your mind and then in your view. Soon as you create a vortex in your mind, because need, want, and desire is a vortex that you are mentally creating. Need is pulling. Want, desire. You're creating a vortex in your mind. You're pulling these things to you. Soon as you create a vortex or vortexes in your mind, the vortex being wanting to know, seeking to know, needing to know something of yourself, especially, portals will immediately appear anywhere, everywhere, in unpredictable time zones and circumstances. It'll just appear. And if you are aware, you will see. You will definitely see. The portal itself is revelation disguised as a realization. It revealing itself, the portal revealing itself, is a direct reflection that you have revealed yourself. You have revealed your cosmic cards. Soon as you enter the portal, something beyond this life becomes realized. Real shit. You recognizing a doorway, then accessing that doorway, is the spiritual technology acknowledging its soul intelligence and infusing with this primal origin of all beginnings. Now, you know I'm a writer. I'm an author. So you know I get wordy. If you're used to this channel, you know how I get busy because I choose and use the words very carefully to describe and define the reality which is being experienced within me. And then I share the light and gnosis with y'all. You begin to receive primal downloads. Each doorway are different access points to your hidden parallel potential, your parallel self, your parallel version of you that exists right now. So you get access to the parallel version of yourself. But keep this in mind, but you cannot enter these points of potential with a personality and an identity. You can only enter these points as entity and energy. This is once again, I touch upon this very detailed in my classes and courses. If you are also interested in the classes and courses, go to the website, hit me by the email as well, and sign up and book your classes and courses today. The next course begins at the end of January. The first 20 students get all pretty much 5 or 6 products of their choosing on my website for free. For free. Pardon me. The first gets 4 to 5 products on the website for free. The first 20 students that sign up and enroll in IAEA, which is my university, my class, and my course. I'm going to be giving a lot of deals and discounts and things of that nature because I have a home, a house full of products and knowledge and love for those who are willing to receive it. So it's no big deal. Walking through these doorways and these portals, what's happening is it is a dissembling and reassembling experience. It dissembles you and then reassembles you as the next version of you. So it's a dissembling and reassembling experience, if that's a word. But you know what I mean. Therefore, you cannot enter it already assembled. Assembled means a personality or an identity. Personalities and identities are composed of fear, doubt, shame, and judgment, as I mentioned prior to this doorway. Okay? Know your shit. I'm not here teaching anything. I'm just here to remind you of what you already know, but you forgot. Like I forgot at one time. But now I'm reminded. Therefore, I do the due diligence of reminding y'all. The next doorway is create guiding seals. You can create seals that guide you. Create your own guiding seals. How do you do that? There's certain techniques you can use. Using sand and vibration, just understand something. Using sand and vibration creates unique seals for you to be aware of in the public when they appear. To validate that you are now walking through your doorway. This is something that you can do like I do. I do the same thing right here. Record yourself saying one word or one statement over and over and over again. And keep it on repeat. Record it on your phone, your laptop, whatever. I say your phone, because if you have your phone next to you while you sleep, you don't have your laptop in your bed. Record yourself saying one word over and over again. Whatever you choose to manifest, however you want to create your doorway, your vibrational state of existence, to create these doorways to begin to recognize as they appear. Record yourself saying one word over and over again. Keep it on repeat while you sleep. See what symbol or seal creates itself and or shows itself the next day from that prior vibration, that prior recording. Then begin to look for that symbol or seal in your everyday life through different things around you. This is why I said the sand and vibration technique. That was really something to understand. They have videos on YouTube, videos all over the internet where they put sand on top of a speaker or sand on top of something, and they put a constant sound on. That's why sound manipulates sand. Sand is synonymous with the word sound because a sound manipulates sand. A vibration is on, and that pattern will show a certain specific perfect geometrical pattern will show on the face of that speaker or whatever they have platform that they have. The sound is vibrating through to turn the sand into a specific perfect geometrical pattern. That's what sound does. And our atmosphere, yes, we breathe in oxygen, but there are also particles. Like we have particle wave and data. I break this down in the other video I had before. I forgot the name of it at the moment. But I'm talking about the whole understanding of particle wave and data, how to break a particle into a wave and how the wave goes into data form. Data form is where the new version of you exists, which are scattered electrons and quarks. This is where the hidden doorway, when you walk through the portal, you turn into electrons and quarks. Scattered electron and quarks to deassemble what you have assembled and reassemble the new you. All this will make sense. If you want more clarity, book a consultation, and I got you. So when you put this on repeat and you sleep, because the subconscious mind is open during sleep, and the subconscious mind will create for you your new reality when you awake. Whatever you kept on repeat, whatever you went to sleep to, that will begin to patternize as the vibration that you now will begin to navigate through in your everyday, day-to-day, moment-to-moment life. It creates a certain pattern that you begin to walk through, drive through, wherever, however you travel, however you transport. You will begin to walk this path that you have created subconsciously before you slept. So that pattern that the sand makes, if you are like a little particle in the middle of that pattern of that sand, you begin to walk through the maze of that pattern and you begin to walk through these doorways specifically based upon your intention, making that recording and what you want to manifest or make appear. But you have to begin to recognize and realize these doorways, and you have to be present and still and silent and of beingness when they appear. These portals will appear, and they always appear. That's just cosmic law and divine order. These things you begin to walk through. This becomes the symbolic tattoo of your intention. Follow its direction, trust its guidance. It is you. Why would you not follow you and trust you? It's your intention. It's your wave pattern that you're making. It's the particles that you're putting together. Trust it, follow it. The sands in the air that begin to shift and direct are the drifting particles or stardust particles. So just in case you're asking or curious, okay, well that the sand will form that, but I'm walking through air. I'm walking through, I'm an aerodynamic being. I'm on the ground, but I'm walking through air. How do I know when the sand is, or how does sand begin to form in air? I don't see sand floating around me. What you mean sand? I'm walking through air. Well, there is sand in the air. The sands in the air that begin to shift and direct or begin to geometrically shape themselves to the pattern of your intention. These sands are the drifting particles or stardust particles. And by the way, we don't breathe in oxygen, we breathe in stardust because we are stardust. When you sweep up your house, you're not sweeping dust. What is dust? Dust is skin particles and hair follicles. Your skin is constantly shedding, your hair is constantly falling. That's what dust is in your home. So we don't breathe oxygen per se, we breathe in stardust. Get that right. The sands in the air that begin to shift and direct are the drifting particles or stardust particles, which are really solar particles. We breathe in through the solar plexus and walk through. So we breathe in solar particles with our solar plexus and we walk through the sand-like particle atmosphere of life. This is what your environment, what your atmosphere is. These are the sands that begin to form into vibrational shapes that direct our paths straight into our intentions that were sent out from us and immediately took shape around us. About two more doorways. Not going to take too much of your time with them all. What's the relation and connection of the heart chakra or anahata and the Kajrij-a? The anahata is just an ancient Indian word for heart. What's the connection and relation between the heart chakra and the Kajrij-a, which I explained prior to slightly? Let's give a little glimpse of it, another small glimpse of it. When talking about door openings, the Kajrij-a, in relation with the chakra system, the middle door or Kajrij-a is the heart chakra because the heart is in the middle. This is why you have to, and you can only enter the door with the door-like intelligence. You can only enter the heart being of the heart-like intelligence. No ego, no personality, no identity, no fear, no doubt, no shame, no judgment. That has to be left on the other side of the door. You cannot enter into it with these statue like mindset, with these stagnated thoughts. You can't walk into it as a thought form or even as a thought. You have to be nothing, still, silent, receiving of grace. The middle door, Kajrij-a, is the heart chakra. Through this door is the only place and space where divine balance between the root chakra and the crown chakra occur. The only place and space in existence where the root chakra and crown chakra occur. Keep this in mind dealing with the chakra system, which nobody talks about. As you raise from the root upward, the crown simultaneously descends downward to match the steps of the root, because in reality, they're actually one force mirroring each other. Everybody always talks about raising the root, but your crown doesn't stay there. As you raise the root, your crown doesn't stay there. As you raise, it's a mirroring effect to meet in the middle. It meets in the middle, the heart chakra. These things move simultaneously because it's one force. It's not two different forces or two different energies in two different locations. It's one intelligence, one force. They mirror each other simultaneously at the same time. So whatever sekra you're working on, you have to begin to utilize it, work on it through the heart. You got in here through the heart, which is your mother may have loved your father may have loved your mother, or both your parents loved each other. You came in here through the heart in this dimension. So therefore, the only way out of this dimension is through the heart. There's a video I have on here on my channel called, I think it's called You Came In Through the Heart, You Can Only Leave Through the Heart, something like that. But this is the gnosis, this is the understanding, and this can get very deep on another level. I have a whole course called Nessie as well as Sekra, two different courses on two different ends that deal with exactly what I'm talking about. And it's a complete course. This shit is serious. So they're actually one force mirroring each other's moves. This is the intention in which our sexual activities and intimacies were governed and guided within at one time, in order to remain present and keep present the Kajrij when it presented itself in order for us to access it. This is the story of a mythology called Siva and Shakti. They were once one force, one entity, one androgynous being. When they split up, they were in the heart, or what can be